or whatever time it is where you are. Good night, rather. How is everybody? How is your day, night, evening? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. I didn't ask that first. Now we're cursed. Let me check. Oh, we're good. Okay. The paranoia lives on. So, what are we all doing on this Monday evening? I have much news and various things to share. We have way more Batman news than I think most people are keen for. When I posted some images of the Batman versus Werewolf, it was greeted with a plethora of agains, and also I think the most sarcastic comment I saw that I laughed about for a long, long time was, "It's so nice that DC is spotlighting obscure characters." It was so salty. I guess some people are feeling the Batman burnout. I was just feeling that sense that you're in the future, because the article that we're going to look at has the header "just in time for spooky season" at the beginning of July. So we have that. We have lots of rumors. This is the "I heard a rumor" kind of edition. And by "I heard a rumor," it's "I read a rumor on Bleeding Cool." There are a couple of potential leaks from San Diego Comic-Con, which, if they're real, will turn out to be interesting. And also just the fact that there are leaks, that there's some kind of hype for things to be leaking, is itself fascinating. So we'll take a look at those. And I have the previews as well for the X books, the million X books that are coming out. They had a little free comic giveaway for it. Had interviews, it had some previews, showed a bit of everything. Sadly, not. I wanted preview panels of X Factor. I was so excited after that whole "It's Your Boy" solicit, even though that one was for a different comic, but I was ready for some potentially unfortunate influencer based comics, but that one didn't have pages. So I'm sad. They did page previews for the main three. So I thought those would also be interesting to take a look at. And they announced a Mystique one. There's just lots of announcements, lots of things happening. So so it's going to be hopefully an interesting time. How is your Monday? What are you reading? What are you looking forward to this coming week? I am on the absolute power train. I wasn't expecting to be as on it as I am. I thought I'd be maybe like on the back in the caboose or something, but no, I'm maybe in the middle sections of the train. It's definitely got me a bit more excited for the tie-ins, because I've already committed myself to looking looking at those. And it was fun to cover it and see all of the responses to it. That's always my favorite part. Same with covering Suicide Squad Isekai, which has been more of an experience in the comments than watching it. Watching it it's what you would expect it to be, but I'm also having more fun with it than anticipated. I'm actually looking forward to the next episode. I'm really enjoying the week by week format. I'm reverting to my youth. I think I prefer it. I feel less pressure because August 1st is Caped Crusader, I believe, and they're dropping all of them at the same day. And thinking about it from a content brain perspective was, oh my goodness, that's a lot of episodes. How shall we approach and encompass this, especially because based off the trailer, there's a lot of different avenues and things to cover. So we shall see, because that's still summer. That's deep in the summer. All my children are here. There's not enough time. Memento Mortem is saying it's the year of the wall. It most certainly is. What's really fascinating is how much it's tying into My Adventures with Superman. That's just very quietly happening. The show, the comic, then the Absolute Power comics. It's really tightly knit together. I like that kind of thing. I do. That's my kind of thing. Give me webs that I then need to go and make a board with some yarn. I have yet to be a YouTuber who makes one of those videos with the yarn. Maybe one day. We shall see where it goes. Oh, people are asking, how is this different from other times Batman fought a werewolf? We'll have to get some of the other mantles to fight werewolves. Then we can say Batmen. I have that one pulled up, actually. Shall we take a bit of a look at it? Why not? Synergy, that's not the synergy we're talking about, but still. And you're not wrong. For those, before we pull this up, who are thinking of, are you thinking of Batman fights Bigby when they did the Fables crossover thing? Or are you thinking about the Batman TAS episode, Moon of the Wolf? That's the one, right? The one that is deemed fairly mid by most in terms of the Batman TAS episode standards, which are fairly high, which ranks even bad episode. Well, not bad. They're like even like less stellar episodes are more mid than bad. Let's see. Oh, Calvin has a question. Ooh, this is a fun question. This is a fun one. If they were real, which would you rather fight? A vampire or a werewolf? I probably want do I know I'm fighting them? Is this a spontaneous fight or is this was I prepared? Vampire. I think I want to fight vampire because even if I lose, hopefully it's going to be a less painful death than if I fight a vampire. I'd like it to be as pleasant as possible, my supernatural demise, if we can do that. Neither. Let's not fight. Let's have one of those endings where it's, and then they all got along and had tea. So, this is Batman's new werewolf fighting book. Is just dripping with, I don't want to use the word dripping. Dripping should be for a vampire book. I guess because they're drooling maybe. But when I hear dripping, when you hear dripping, do you think werewolves or vampires? Craig Anderson, thank you very much. Introduce my brother to your page and he loves you. Oh, well, tell him thank you very much. I'm glad that he is enjoying wherever the whims are taking us. Marilyn Duke says, what are we? Werewolves, not swearwolves. That's right. What we do in the shadows call out. I love that movie. All right, so this is Batman Full Moon will hit just in time for spooky season. I picked this page, Big Polygon, because it has a lot of stills from inside. So this is a Black Label miniseries with artist Steven Subic. And so we have who did the Riddler Year One, which had art that I really liked. So I'm going to enjoy this probably visually at the very least. I feel like I'm the mark for these types of things, though. Wish I could. Can I remove myself? I can, right? Just like, yeah, that's what we want, right? We want to see the whole page. You can see me any old time. You can't see the page any old time unless you go and look at it. So here we go. Here's some of our. Oh, is that some guy's eye? Because it's black. It's a bullet. I thought it was somebody's eye. I was ready. I was so ready for the extra gore, because it's Black Label and all of that. Ooh, I like this one. This is a nice eye shot over there. That's very nice. This is the still they keep using. I can bring myself back now. This is the still they keep using, and I keep not seeing the werewolf in the bottom corner of it. And I'm like, oh, right, there's a werewolf down there. I'm so focused on eerie-looking Batman up there in the corner. All right, so Subic is teamed with Rodney Barnes, who did Philadelphia, for a 4-issue miniseries, which will be printed with glow-in-the-dark main cover. Get ready for a gimmick. Put it in the dark. Look at your werewolf cover. And if that screams Halloween to you, well, Batman Full Moon will hit the shelves just in time for the holiday on October 9th. That's not a full moon. So you should be safe from werewolves as you venture out to pick up a copy. I mean, I would hope so because I plan to go to the comic book store while it's open during the day, not break in at night. So they then have the covers underneath. They're pretty vague about what they're going to do with it. I guess they're just giving you the elevator pitch. Maybe for next month's solicits, they'll have a fuller write up. But basically, it's Batman versus a werewolf. What more do you want? I do like this cover. I do like this cover a lot. It's very striking. Do you think this is one of the ones that glows in the dark? Ooh. I like this one too. That's why I used it in my thumbnail. So we have the various well, this is actually only the really let them fight version out there. So what do we think? It's a very, very brief kind of teaser because we're just trying to put some titles out there, build some hype. I imagine that they're going to have more Halloween announcements as it comes up. Does this appeal to you, knowing that it's just a kind of 4-issue mini? Would you want to trade weight for it? I do think the art looks very nice. I like these supernatural things. Batman and vampires, when Batman was a vampire, Batman fighting vampires, Batman fighting werewolves, Batman and aliens, all the various things we've had Batman do. Neb Olivar is saying it is what it is. Yeah. That very much feels like the crux of this announcement is like, yeah, he's going to fight a werewolf. Again, for those who are in the know that it has happened before. So yes, that's a thing. Ben Chan is asking, will this lead to Batwolf a la Capwolf? One can only hope, but few things can match the sheer enjoyment of Capwolf or Cap on drugs. Oh, just that era. Did Batman ever fight the Predator? Yes, he did. If I'm not wrong, he did. I'm thinking about the other Predator tie-in they're doing right now, or they're going to be doing with Black Panther. Need to stop the screen because we have other things to look at. Other Batman things, which, speaking of being up the Suicide Squad Isekai Valley, I keep getting asked about Batman Ninja. And did you know that there's a Batman Ninja sequel coming your way with Batman Ninja versus Yakuza? Yakuza League. So for those who needed more of that, then oh yes, Patrick Jarrah is saying yes, he did. They even made a toy. There are so many toys coming out. I feel like every week I clicked on one McFarlane toy thing a while back because some of you sent me the punchline that was coming out, and now I get alerts for everything anytime they do anything, and I feel it's almost any day. So okay, Yakuza League. Also, stop playing this ad. Let's get it up there. Yes. There we go. Ooh. They shared some character posters, and I thought those would be fun to take a look at. This is another one of those it is what it is type of announcements. They announced the sequel at Anime Expo because they're just always announcing these co-projects kind of quietly at Anime Expo. It's not quiet if you're into Anime Expo, but for others, for example, some people only learned about Suicide Squad Isekai about a week before it came out, or that day, like the day before when Warner Brothers DC itself dropped the intro and outro. So we have some images revealing how Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and The Flash and Green Lantern will look in the upcoming anime project. So, of course, we have our Batman looking like Batman. We have Wonder Woman. I'm very much enjoying the eagle tattoo that they've given her there. That looks very, very cool. I do like this design quite a bit into the tattoo. The Flash. I haven't looked at these yet. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the Flash at all. I don't know how I feel about everything being there, plus the mask still being there. How do we feel about the Flash? Is that a dragon? No, that's not a dragon. I like the symbol on his side though. Oh my goodness. I'm ready. Green Lantern. Not Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Not tripping over anything Green Lantern. So we have this one. The constructs in the hair holding it up are very, very extra. That's takes some extra concentration. Plus, the main weapon is also a construct. That's a lot of a lot. That seems like unnecessary showboating. Well, I mean, Aquaman looks almost the same as how he normally looks. I feel like we didn't do enough to Aquaman to make him feel different. I do like the green tinge on his hair, though. Like he's been in the sea. Needs more. Needs more. Oh, is that some fishbone necklace? Nice. Yes, Memento Morum is saying the trailer shows them off more in motion. It does, but playing trailers is a dicey business. Oh, they have an explanation. What is Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League? It's going to not who made it. What is it about? I mean, I care who made it. I do, but I also want to know the plot a little bit. Can I hear plot, please? No, I can't. That's about what I expect for an Anime Con press release. Just who's working on it and what they did. Like, I'm in charge of the screenplay. The first trailer contains only tiny fragments of Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League, and full 90 minutes is filled with even more crazy sequences. I believe it. I do believe it. Oh, I'll probably watch this. I will. I will. Are you going? Did you watch the first one? Were you here for Batman Ninja? Are you here for Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League? Even that title makes me smile. It makes me smile just to say it. So I will probably be watching it. It sounds like at the very least it will be entertaining. Mystic Digital is asking, is it a movie or show? It is a movie. Matthew Prower, thank you very much. S would be SS be this if Air didn't do the movie. I'm having a hard time deciphering that. Oh, so that would be Fire if Air didn't do the movie. I don't dislike the Air Suicide Squad as much as some do. I also find it a fascinating examination of what a difference an edit can make, because you can see that it was re-edited. At least I can see that it was re-edited. There is some very obvious moments where it pivots. There's some obvious scenes that were moved from later in the film to earlier. And then that was just confirmed when I learned about all the scenes that were cut. Some of the ones that you saw, and then some of the ones you didn't. Lots of the subplots that would have really made the movie make a lot more sense. The whole tone of the movie has changed because they tried to re-edit it to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy. So when Air talks about how there was a cut, like a different cut, I'm so curious as to what that would be. I really would have liked to see the original pre-Guardians of the Galaxy cut of that movie. I'm not sure if it would have exploded the Suicide Squad or anything, but I think it definitely would have stood out more as its own thing for sure. And I really want... They had the Deadshot, Rick Flag, the romance plot in there, all kinds of things. I'm like, I needed to see where this was going. I need to know. So I'm very, very curious about what the Air cut would have been like unmeddled with. I personally am curious. And I also just in general don't massively dislike the first one. It just to me comes across like a movie that was intensely meddled with. I'm also one of the people who doesn't hate the Jared Leto Hot Topic Joker either. So I know that's blasphemous in some circles. So people are talking about the Agatha trailer. I haven't seen that as of yet. I was busy prepping for this and other Monday things. I don't know about all of you, but my Monday was very much a Monday. It involved tedious Monday tasks. Unfortunately, it did not leave time for looking at the Agatha trailer. Did those who saw it, did those who saw it enjoy it? So let me know. I'll probably watch it after this, maybe, if I remember. I may also get waylaid by other things. I'm working on a bunch of different things, going off in different angles. I'm doing a retrospective on a question nobody asked, and I'm having a great time. It involves Mr. Bloom. So get excited for some Mr. Bloom content that nobody asked for in 2024. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And some more The Batman things. I'm probably going to keep up with Suicide Squad Isekai because I'm genuinely enjoying watching it. So, yes. Should we do the scoop? Should we do the rumor? I heard a rumor about, oh my God, the ads on this Bleeding Cool page. All right. So which one do I have up? Because there's been about 8 articles about this. There we go. So this is a rumor about just everything going on, plus the cover for the whole absolute Batman, absolute universe thing. We're gonna go there. We're gonna get all our ads on the side. Let's do this. That was the choice I made when I didn't have ad block. BNB, is it an unpopular opinion to like super heavy? I think there are some questionable working through of social topics in super heavy, but on the whole, I think it has some cool moments. I'd agree with that. I think there's some really cool moments inside of it. Jay Parker, thank you very much. It is very much appreciated, especially with the plethora of X books we are about to experience, only some of which we'll probably get the chance to talk about. So let me pull it up. It's I just saw that the headline goes scoop. Look at all the ads. Oh, this is why people use AdBlock. Okay, so this is supposedly a cover that's going to go out at San Diego Comic-Con as an exclusive, but it'll appear in some comic book stores too. And here we go. Look at Batman, exclusive, Ashcan special edition, broad Batman. He's hit the gym. He's getting swole. Scoop. Scoop also makes me want to say spoon. Chemdog is saying 2 scoops of raisins. This Batman definitely has 2 scoops of something. People keep joking that it's Batman on Venom again. This is a very swole, chonky, as I like to say, Batman. For me, what it is the symbol in the center there. It took me a minute to realize that it wasn't just a rectangle. Like, oh, a rectangle. But I do this one detail I really like, this kind of edging on the, can't say edging on the internet anymore, this kind of layer on the outer rim, that sounds worse, that looks like bat wings a little bit. This tiny bit here, at least how they've drawn it on the cover, it's got that kind of crisscross bit. So this is supposed to be for, I know, Donovan, I know. This is supposed to be for our absolute Batman, which I don't know if it's this release on it because there are about 3 articles that ran about this. But there was one that detailed the Trinity for the Absolute Universe as if the characters were created to respond to 2020's issues rather than those of the 1930s and 40s. And oh my goodness, I hope that is not the case. That made me, if I was a turtle, I would have retreated entirely back into my shell. I do like this description here. The cover shows what appears to be Batman with a more muscular frame and a more hand-stitched Batman costume look. Rather than a cape, he appears to have a flying/gliding suit, shoulder armor, and more of an accidental bat shape for his chest, made out of the stitches holding a chest plate in place. I do like the idea of sorry, it's what Matthew said. Happy power, thank you very much. Did a rectangle fly through his window? Someone threw a rectangle through his window. He's, I will strike fear into the hearts of criminals. I shall become a rectangle. Where criminals are superstitious and cowardly lots. Oh my goodness. That's the origin I want. Keep it exactly the same. Rockstar says it was just a brick. Do you like this look? Do you like this look? How do you feel about the rumor that this is just Batman, but if Batman wasn't rich? Does that appeal to you? What do you think? Does that make you is that something you'd want to check out? Are you interested in a Batman that is responding to 2020's issues? Whenever I hear that kind of thing, I'm always a bit wary because there's a difference between created to respond to and informed by. Those are two very different things, but we shall see. MP, thank you very much. Absolute DC won't be for everyone, and that's okay. Hopefully it brings in new long-term readers/fans who take ownership of this version of DC as their own. I always hope that people find something that they enjoy. I'm intrigued by it. I'll be there. Who knows? I might be one of the people who it's not for, but there's always other stuff I'm interested in if it's not. I'm always intrigued by a shot, though, to see. Even if it's a swing and a miss, I appreciate a swing. We shall see what it is, though. But so far, the base concepts don't sound swingy enough to me. Personally, if it truly does end up just being Batman, but without money, to me, that's not enough. We need more. We need more. Arthur 2010 FX, thank you very much. I'll just take my Batman Earth 1. I like that phrasing. I'll take my Batman to go. We have Batman at home. So what about all of you? What are you interested in? Of the rumors you've heard for the stories coming out, if you have heard them, what one intrigues you the most? Do you feel like DC needs something like this when they have so much Elseworld that they're still also doing at the same time? I kind of want, you know what I kind of want? Let me pull myself up for a second. Who remembers Tangent? The Tangent universe, where it took the characters' names and then did something completely different with them. Like we covered Tangent Flash years ago at this point, where she was a kind of socialite celebrity. I just appreciate how different that universe was. And I don't know. I kind of want something like that, or where they go in or try and really revamp. Even the Silver Age for some of the characters try to do some really different things. I'm thinking about first Green Lantern versus second Green Lantern specifically. And sometimes those things can really work. I don't know. I personally would like to see a big swing, but that's just me. Matthew Pryor, thanks very much. Also, 2020's issues Batman is leading toward GL/GA, to be honest. Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Also, 2020's issues Batman is leaning towards Green Lantern, Green Arrow, to be honest. I'm thinking about that. I'm contemplating. I can't think about Green Arrow right now without thinking about his really long speech in Absolute Power, which some people feel was character assassination, others don't. I'm on the don't category of that. Also, when I see GL and GA, I, of course, think about hard traveling here. And the fact that there's an omnibus coming out that I need to grab, because that's up my alley. I talk about it all the time. I care about it in a very odd way. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else that they're... Okay, there's their quote here. Let's see if there's a quote. No, it's also very vague. We shall have to wait and see. We're still very much in rumor territory as to how all of this is going to fit together. And it's going to be the part of at least the changeover at the end of Absolute Power, even if it's not directly related. They're going to start things at the end of all that. I'm always interested in DC and its reboots, restarts, rethings. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to it, but I'll always be there for it. Matt Krenz, thank you very much, says Absolute Batman feels like a weird / late response to the Batman punches poor people and mentally ill bad faith take. It does feel a bit late. That's the thing I felt about it when it was paired with the other rumors about Superman, who was not as connected to his Earth roots. And the most different one was Wonder Woman, who was doing adventure, almost Indiana Jones type things. But that's what I would thought of, because it's just I feel like we've already done that story a few times with Batman in the main universe, or addressed that a few times inside the main universe, which is why I'm really hoping that those rumors are vague or incorrect, or smoke screens for what is actually set to be coming out with that. If you had to see another character as Batman, not Bruce, and you could pick anybody, this was your new absolute universe, who would you pick? Who would you forget how swole he was on that cover. We can pretend that didn't happen. Who would you pick? Arthur 20FX, thank you very much. The biggest uphill absolute DC has is the massive amount of Elseworld / Black Label stories and alternate origins in universe and out, as opposed to Marvel's limited amount, in my opinion. I would agree with that. I would entirely agree with that, because the idea of alternate universe stories or alternate universe things isn't something novel or all that new. It's not the same as when Marvel did its Ultimate Universe. The idea of trying to equate the two, they're just coming at it from a fundamentally different place. When I hear that, I just keep thinking like it's some kind of concentrated Elseworlds line, because they keep also saying things like, oh, it's gonna be different though because it won't bleed into the main universe. I'm like, well, Elseworld stories don't either until they do. Until people decide that they want to. But we shall see. Again, we'll have to see. I am excited to see, even if some things have me kind of slightly turtling back into myself, I'm still excited to see it. I don't know. What about you? Abigail, me too. Abigail Blackman said, just interpreted BL as boys love, not Black Label. I did that automatically too. I was about to say it and I was like, that's not the context we're talking about here. We're talking about Elseworld stories, and that means Black Label. We'll save the BL for some other time. M.P, thank you very much. I do hope the Absolute Universe frees up the main continuity a bit to more freely embrace time and change. A little bit like pre-Crisis Earth 2. That would be fun to try and let things move a little bit. I was thinking about that the other day, looking at how much older Damian looks. I was looking at Damian in the art in the Absolute Power issue 1. I was like, wow, look at Damian. He's so grown now. Someone was even saying he looks so grown, they feel that he could re-team up with John for Super Sons. And it would be nice to see them move forward a little bit, and then maybe have adventures like Marvel does set in the past for past eras if people still want to see those characters. Because I love Bruce, but I would also be happy to see the continuity move forward at the same time. I don't know. Some people are like, that's just having your cake and eating it too. I'm like, I can have it all. The 90s told me I can have it all. Yeah, I agree with Claude, who's saying that they are trying to catch Damian up. I think so. And I would be happy to see them do more stuff again. I mean, do you see some of those backup stories where they're babysitting Trinity and the like over in Tom King's Wonder Woman? Adam Frey, thank you very much. Would you be up for more Earth mashup characters like Earth 32? Abin Sur gave the ring to Bruce Wayne. Oh, those stories were fun. I do enjoy those stories. But again, those are the type of stories where they're piggybacking off of the strength of the mainline universe. So that's the other thing that intrigues me about this Batman pitch, is that they just did a whole arc trying to get Batman to a better place. So that's also a thing that intrigues me, because by the end of the whole failsafe thing, he's been divested of the most paranoid part of his personality, who's now off living in even an android. So it's very interesting to see how that's going to go. He almost had a Wayne family adventures moment in the last issue. So I'm very intrigued if the main universe goes towards a more stable, healthy Batman who's like Wayne adventuring it's at points, but I would, fingers crossed, that would make me happy personally. Then what's Absolute Batman gonna do? I'm so curious. Seth says with his wholesome ramen hair. I know. It was a look, okay? Kemri is asking, is Zuranars whatever still going on? Okay, so we've come to the end. Zuranar has now been confined to failsafe. I'm finally free to talk about the update of Zuranar. And that it went so in an interesting vein and direction in terms of how off the rails it went that it almost came back and embraced its Silver Age energy, which made me happy. It almost has the same energy as Zuranar is an alien from another world. It's not as fun, but it's embracing that kind of vibe, especially when it came from an arc where Batman jumped from the moon. So it feels appropriate. It feels appropriate. Do you want to look at X-Men? I have X-Men things. I have the previews of the three main ones. I have X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, and Exceptional X-Men. And if we look at X-Men first, we can look at the scary raccoon beast eyes, which is a good time. Every time I get to that page, it haunts me. MP, thank you very much. I'm calling it now. Absolute Crisis Summer Event in 2025, where the main and Absolute universes crossover Crisis style. They did that with Tangent. It'll be the 20th anniversary of Infinite Crisis, 40th of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and DC's 90th. I like it. I like it. And just in general, even if all those dates didn't align nicely like that, they do have the universes. Whenever they do that and the universes do well, they meet and they fight, because that's what happened with Tangent. There was a huge crossover thing. And everybody met and they all had to fight evil Superman. Oh, which X book am I most hyped for? X Factor for the wrong reason. X Factor for the wrong reasons. Probably of the three here, probably Uncanny. I think Uncanny. If the choices were somebody ran up, it's like Uncanny, Exceptional, or X-Men. You can only pick one, and they threw one at you. I'd probably just say Uncanny and go for that one. What about all of you? What are you excited / interested in? Let me see what all of you are saying. Brandon is saying, hello, CC, longtime fan, first time caller. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're here to join in the madness. I think I'm going to pull up X-Men #1 because that's the one that they're leading with. That seems to be the first one. So let's go with that one first. And yeah, X-Men #1. Plain X-Men. Adjectiveless X-Men. That's the one. If my computer wants to move, if it can chug its way through all those ads. Okay. From the ashes, Krakoa is gone, Orcus has fallen, but the X-Men remain, always. Cyclops leads, because that is what he does. Beast builds, because that is what he does. And from their new home in Alaska, the X-Men raise a flag of defiance. Mutant business is their business. Join Cyclops, Beast, Magneto, Psylocke, Kid Omega, Temper, Magic, and Juggernaut as new forces in the world move into position, battling for the destiny and philosophy of the mutant species. This is Legacy issue 301, allegedly, and this one is written by Jed McKay. We are by Ryan Stegman, JP Mayer, and Marta Garcia. This is our nice little teaser page showing you who is on the team. I feel like the way Ryan Stegman has done the art for this, everybody looks incredibly young. Everybody looks very young in this issue. I don't know if it's just me. You'll see more as we go a bit deeper into the preview pages. They do a decent amount of preview. You get to see this character pulling up to their compound. This is Chief Paula Robbins' Merle Police Department, who's there to look around, who I thought initially was a child, in all honesty, when she was here next to this beast. This beast. I don't know what it is about this beast face, but I can't not Look at it. I can't not look at it. Ah, it's mesmerizing. Matthew Prower, thank you very much. Honestly, it's still telling the better version of Zur is voiced by the 90s cartoons and by proxy the Batman VA. Oh, that was a fun episode. That was the Batman Brave and the Bold episode where Kevin Conroy was voicing Zur-Anar. That is a very fun one. We talked about it on the channel. It has a lot of really cool deep cuts to various Silver Age issues, not just the Zur-Anar one. There's also a one with Lex's descendant, which is pretty cool. I like how some of you are like, look over the beast face. Oh, he looks like he got like the buccal fat surgery over here. It's just, it's so striking what's going on over here. Cyclops also looks so young. Scott Summers is the most gifted combat leader I've ever known, and I was an Avenger, says Beast. Donovan says he's absolutely mogged. He's mewing. He's on his mewing streak. Is that what you're saying? It's nice to see Kid Omega doing stuff. Rockstar, thank you very much. If everything is canon now, isn't Alien Zur also out there? If you subscribe to the Omniverse theory, which they don't mention the Omniverse too much anymore, then yes. I mean, I would like to imagine that somewhere there is the nice, friendly alien Zur-Anar wondering why he's treated so badly when he gets to Earth. And just has this terrible rep based on what's happened in the main universe. Common sense, thank you very much. You saw the villain in NYX, Krakoa. It is heavily hinted that Krakoa is Julian Keller, aka Hellion. He doesn't deserve this. He deserves better. So you don't want that to be the Krakoan. That's not the trajectory you want things to go. I saw some people just not happy that they're reusing the Krakoan or making fun of the Krakoan's name. I don't hate the Krakoan's name. I don't know how I feel overall long term about the concept of the Krakoan, but I don't hate the name personally. So let's look some more of our pages. Is the art grabbing people? Are we feeling it? Oh, Brandon is asking, was the first comic I remember reading? That is Catwoman number 13. Let's not get it wrong. Catwoman 13? Yes. From the 90s era, the Jim Ballant era. What's happening with Juggernaut here? And those are our preview pages. These preview pages, they just selected the first few pages. They didn't select key moments inside the issue, just the first few, which is why that's how you ended up with Weird Beast in the first place, because they just used the first few pages. Personally, if I was doing the preview, I probably would have started from the action sequence and then done a couple more of those. But that's just me. Because I don't know, I feel like this doesn't give you enough of an idea overall. I guess it shows you some team dynamics. Like there's Magic and Juggernaut doing some rock, paper, scissors to decide how they're gonna get out of the jet and all that. We have Cyclops yelling at Kid Omega saying, "You're an Omega level telepath, Quentin. Act like it." I feel like I should have given Scott a bit more gravitas over there. Balls Monkey, thank you very much. How come no one loves Colossus? There are people who love Colossus. I feel like there are definitely a lot of Colossus fans out there. I see some of you want to talk about Starman. We will talk about the very vague Starman rumors, but first we have to look also at other X-Men. That was adjectiveless X-Men. Next we have Uncanny X-Men. So let's pull that one up. Uncanny. There we go. Boop. This is Gail Simone and David Marquez. Okay, this one doesn't have the same. They've done all of these differently. That first one had that tagline, almost solicit style lead up. This one has quotes. This one has quotes from Simone talking about the shadows of the giants who worked on this book are all over the landscape, and it gets a little emotional to think about. Everyone has an X-Man they feel speaks to them directly. There's no other franchise like it in comics. It's an honor and a thrill and a panic all at once. My first idea was I want to lay out a welcome mat for all readers, new, returning, and lifelong. They deserve the best mutant stories I can give them. I want to focus on the humanity, no pun intended, big action, big personalities. I'm going to look at the teaser pages, not the trailer. I don't want to get hurt. I do like this cover. I do like it. It's simple but effective. It's very eye-catching. So once more, we're starting off with just the intro, but this one has a bit of a stronger intro in general because you're starting off with a bunch of characters that people are familiar with. You see Logan, who's also doing stuff in another book, but he's here too. You see Rogue, Gambit. I feel like this also should have a comma and not a period because the period's so small. It almost looks like he's saying, "Hey, darling Cajun," which I'd be fine with, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be, "Hey, darling Cajun." So they're all meeting up. They had to actually, this one is a pretty exciting preview. You get to see all of their interaction together. And there's a dragon there. So that's pretty exciting. So you see them taking a look at the dragon. There's an editor's note. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? A little editor's note talking about what we're referencing, which is amazing. And then it ends with the fact that it wakes up and they're probably going to have to fight it. And it looks great. I really like how the art looks in this one. It looks really fun. This to me as a teaser personally worked. I was already leaning the most towards this one anyway, but this one looks like it could be just a lot of good fun. So what do you think? What are we thinking about this one? All of you are just talking about what kind of dragon is it? Stop it. Ah, enjoy the ads playing on the side. So of the two so far, based on those, which one appeals to you? And then we will also get up Exceptional X-Men, which has this moment that I feel is not the best for Kate, as all of the solicits and the like insist upon calling her. Hey, Chemdog, they call it a dragon. That's them. Take it up with Wolverine. Wolverine won't stop calling it that. They even do the whole bolding thing. That's a dragon and it's all bolded. So let's get that one down so we can look at Exceptional. Doop. And then pulling up. Exceptional. There we go. Boom. So we have a dramatic still from the actual panels here on top, not a cover still like the last ones. Do we have a write-up here? Or do we have, oh, this one just has a kind of, this is what's happening in this story. As seen already yesterday, one such preview has never been seen before, and that's for Exceptional X-Men, written by Eva Ewing with art by Carmen Carnero. The preview features Braun/Trista and an altercation that could get her killed. Only Kitty Pryde can save her. All right, so this is the one where Kitty's all the write-ups have been, she's just trying to live her life, but then just when she thought she was out, they pull her back in. John Stewart, you're probably right. It's Logan who's calling it a dragon. We shall see. Again, another reason to pick it up and check it out. Based on where they were, probably it was a Quetzalcoatl. But let's look at our teaser. So what we have here is a woman, well, a girl with not the best friends who just, she can't get into the event and they just ditch her out here in this very upsetting moment where she's not being allowed in. And back here we have Kitty, who's watching this girl go through this terrible time, be mistreated by security, who's getting rough with her, even though she hasn't done anything but be sad. And her powers manifest, because this is a very upsetting moment, and we're doing the whole powers manifest in times of extreme stress. I want to know what concert they were going to with this look. I need to know. And then this fight starts to break out, and Kitty just leaves. She just leaves. But my days of jumping into fights are over. Normal person. Time to go eat some normal sushi. Oh dear. But then it gets too far. It's too much. Even she can't walk away from this. But honestly, even having her walk away to the point it was escalating at this, it doesn't feel like the best look. So we shall see. Aaron Kelly, Kitty, not my problem. That's right. She read Superman Grounded. That problem is over there. And over there will take care of itself. Adrian Parchman, thank you very much. Have you talked about Moon Knight? I mean, Batman fighting werewolves. I have. I thought you were asking about the new Moonlight relaunch. I was like, no, I haven't. I was about to get all a bit sad that I haven't talked about Moon Knight in a while. I got some nice Moon Knight omnis too a little while back, and I was gonna talk about all these storylines, and then I just got distracted. I got very distracted. Common sense. Why can't EVUing call the comic New Mutants? Because they want exceptional X-Men, and New Mutants is already an established name that they can use for something else. I don't know why she walked away from this in the first place. This seems like because this whole time she sees it escalating. Even if this girl wasn't a mutant and was just this girl being mistreated in the situation, I just don't feel like it's the best look for. I know they're trying to go for the whole, she's just trying to live her life, but to me, not the best look. But that's fine, because I'll be over with the potential not dragon, over with Logan, Remy, and Rogue. So based on those three, because those are the three big ones, even though they announced everything and all the ones that are coming after, these are the three big ones that you're supposed to get the most hype for. Based on those previews, which one grabs you the most? Which one seems like it has the most interesting story or premise? Which one has art that you're the most interested in? Tell me, let me know. I will drink one of the various liquids that I have. I'm trying to make my own mocha, but all of the chocolate sank to the bottom. So that's what happened there. By the time I get to the bottom, it's going to be really exciting. It's coffee. I'm going to be up forever, but that's fine, because there's lots of things to edit, which is going to be fun. I like editing. I have a lot of fun editing. It's always the thing that people tell me I can pass off or should pass off to others, but I can't. Ben Chan, I know I need to stir. I don't have a spoon. I'm not the tick. I have no spoon. I only have drinks. I only have drinks. All right. So there's not really any fun or cool images for the Starman announcement. That's why I just used one of the nice images from the original run. That's actually the cover of one of the compendiums as well, because it's just a very nice image. But the rumor is, I heard a rumor / read on Bleeding Cool that there's going to be a Black Label miniseries with Starman and Jack. So that, to me, that intrigues me, because that you could do a lot more things, I feel like, with Jack and Black Label. Although I'm curious as to where they would take his story, if they would piggyback it off of his original 90s series, or if they would try and move it forward, if they would set something in that time period, if they would do something entirely different, a different type of adventure. It is rumoredly supposed to be James Robinson writing it, and that's one of my favorite things that he's written. So it would be interesting to see a return to that. So I'm curious because they are also doing a 30th anniversary special for 0 Hour this year as well. So I'm curious, would they tie something into that? Because we have all the hyper time and the like. I am very curious about, are we going to do something with his son? I want to know. I really liked Starman. So that's what intrigues me about this one. I really like Starman just as a run. It's a lot of fun. It has one of my favorite Shade stories in it. I highlighted one of the chapters. My favorite chapter of that Shade story where he takes on the spider, which is a really cool chapter. And he has that, he begins his kind of friendship-ish with Jay Garrick. It's a really fun issue. They don't do a lot with Jack. I mean, they don't have to. Jack does feel like very much of his era, and also the way he exits is fairly graceful. The way he passes on the mantle, and I do like the handoff from Jack to Stargirl. So I'm on the one hand, I'm not sure if I'd want to see that altered. On the other hand, depending on what you did with it, it could be nice to see Jack do something again. Where are all of you with that? Where are all of you with the Black Label in general? Black Label has been all over the place. It feels sometimes like it's an all Batman line, but it isn't. It does produce a lot of other stories. It's just the ones that they promote the most tend to be the Batman ones. But they've done a whole bunch of other ones as well. I was going through Task Force Z, just a couple days ago for Mr. Bloom purposes, and remembering how much they were hyping up Task Force Z for a bit. It was concurrent with DC versus Vampires, wasn't it? Or am I misremembering that? In the haze, that was DC versus Vampires. Set, you're right. The Zatanna just came out. Everybody had really nice things to say about Zatanna, and deservedly so. Zatanna had a very solid first issue for its Black Label outing. It was pretty fun. I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but it would be okay. So I've been flirting with this idea for a while, but would you be interested in like a weekly or a bi-weekly what I'm reading roundup? It's just sometimes I'm reading so many things, I don't get a chance to spotlight all of them or give them all their own videos. The thing that holds me back, and it's maybe very strange, is I feel guilt because I'm not reading everything. So I always feel kind of bad when I say like, oh, these are fun. I liked these. There might be something awesome that I didn't read. Is that weird? Am I strange? Probably. I see some of you talking about Kyle. Okay. Kyle has been all discombobulated in Green Lantern. He's doing stuff, being discombobulated over there. I do like Kyle. Johan James, thank you very much. Unpopular opinion. Chris Claremont isn't as prolific as he thinks he is. Longtime fan, first time in the chat. There's some, for those who are deep into the Claremont, the Wolverine deep cut, first cut, deep cut, raw cut, something cut came out with the Sabretooth fight recently. I only got a chance to see a couple of preview pages for that, but it did have a lot of those big blocky chunks of text, and it did remind me a lot of the older style. I like a lot of Claremont's work, but there are also some Claremont-isms that are fun to, at times, I wouldn't say poke fun at, but be a bit jovial about. The author's barely disguised fetish does come up a decent amount of times. Oh yes, there is a Kyle compendium. They've released they have the first one that's out there. I'm still waiting on the Sandman Mystery Theater Compendium 2. I fear that it may not come to fruition. I'd be so sad. It'll be like the first time they tried to reprint it all over again, where it just stopped. I want them to finish it. Please, I need all of the 90s Sandman in one place. Oh, Coffee Martin Bolden is saying there are too many Green Lanterns. We do have a lot of Green Lanterns. There are so many that you could just break all of them off into their own line and have adventures just with those Green Lanterns. And that would be that. If you were to break off and have another Green Lantern series, would you want it to be Kyle? Like it was back when they had all the emotion spectrum and Kyle was leading one of the teams? Or would you want it to be someone else? I was kind of sad that they brushed Jessica Cruz's Yellow Lantern stint under the rug. They don't really have a way to explain how she's back green against. They just kind of, oh, that was a thing that happened. I'm a bit sad because I thought that concept was interesting for Jessica. I thought the idea of exploring the fear core and trying to use fear positively could have been a really interesting angle, but I can also see why they returned her to being green. But also just more of her and Baz. I miss her and Baz together doing stuff. I really liked their comic that they had. It was a lot of fun and they had a really nice dynamic. Even just seeing Baz pop up in Green Lantern was nice. And look at him there having lines. It's like, oh, it's Baz. Someone remembered Baz and did something with him. Of course, we're going to have to leave that aside for a bit because that one is tying in to Absolute Power, because at the end of that one, Carol showed up and she took Hal back to Earth so that Hal could be in position to be able to do stuff in Absolute Power. So that's how he got back there. It would have been really funny, though, if they'd left him out there. It's like, oh, he doesn't have to take part in this one. He gets to sit this crisis out. I feel so bad. It looks so, like, unappealing. It tastes really nice, but it looks really unappealing on camera. Gotta get some cute food. Cute food and cute things for the camera. I'm super close to being able to set up the 2-camera setup thing. I'm very excited about it so that we can do overheads of some of the older comics that I have instead of having to look at some of the potentially not all of them have the best recolors. So some of them, it's nice to look at the original ones. I'm very excited for that. I just need a bigger table to be able to put things on to get the full spread of all of that. Doug, thank you very much. You need a Mobius type chair that gives you instant knowledge of all the new comic books. That's right. And then like Batman, I would never get out of that chair. So I think about that moment more than a human should. What are some of your favorite New 52 moments? Going through all this Mr. Bloom stuff at the tail end of the New 52, it made me think about some parts of the New 52 that I genuinely enjoyed, especially in the wake of Absolute Power, what seems to be leading up to some other kind of change potentially. What are some parts of New 52 that you enjoyed, if you did, if any? I feel like New 52 of late has been getting more and more reassessed in some corners. I see a big Aquaman. Ooh, Sword and Sorcery. There were some I Vampire. I really liked New 52 I Vampire. Justice League Dark, a bunch of those types of things. Oh, Gotham Academy. The Gotham Academy was fun, and it was nice to see the some of the characters pop back up in the, I keep wanting to say Urban Legends because that's just what it's a continuation of, but no, Batman Brave and the Bold, which has not had a Batman story as the main for a while, but a Nightwing story with art by Kelly Jones, which is, it's really interesting to see a return to that art style. Common Sense, thank you very much. Opinions on Zhang Li as Green Lantern. No strong ones in my corner. I didn't actually get to read that one. I have it because I have all of the graphics and tie-ins, all of those things. I know some people really enjoyed that one. I had this big plan to go through and read all the things. Then they wouldn't stop coming, and they kept coming, and they still are coming. And just there hasn't been time. There's no time in the forever march of, I wish if I had robots like how Superman has all of those robots that clean his fortress and stuff, that's what they would do. they would they would help me film videos. And then the amount of wigs I have would make sense. You know? They would be able to assign them to the robot duplicates before the inevitable robot uprising. But before that happened, it would be a good time. Mm. Yes, indeed. They did mention that. They did indeed. So there's been a lot of fun mentions in Gotham by Gaslight. Oh, Animal Man, New 52 Animal Man. There are parts of New 52 Animal Man I really like, and some parts I really don't. But on the whole, it was really cool to see Animal Man foregrounded again. That's what it's, if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. But it's just that I also wish that for any new foregrounding universe, they could focus on some of the more obscure characters. But at the same time, I really do understand why they focus on Batman as much as they do and come out with Batman's fighting Batman's fighting a werewolf. Get hype. Let's see. B&B, what wig would you assign for his new failsafe robot? I feel like it would be more like which wig and like it would be less which wig and more which type. One robot would get to wear the curly wigs. One robot would get to wear the really colorful wigs. I would keep the daytime. Sometimes you have to leave the house in a wigs because sometimes you don't want to look too extra going out to your mailbox or up the street to the convenience store, but you also don't want to take the wig off because you just laid it on. So We Are Robin. I did like We Are Robin, and there were all those references of it in the Mr. Bloom conclusion as well with Duke. For those who are reading Wayne Family Adventures, have you seen all of the Duke things that are happening? There's so much Duke in that. It's a lot of fun. It's really nice to see Duke out and about. People remembering that Duke exists is always a nice time. I like Duke. Let's see. I'm seeing what all of you were enjoying. It's so interesting. That's one of the fun things about the fact that all of this is evolving and moving. It can, when you return to it, it can appear so different. I also just enjoy chatting with all the different people from different eras because some people are coming in from that era. It did draw people in, especially a lot of Flash people. There are a lot of people who, so then when you have that whole discussion about Wally versus Barry, some people are, what are you talking about? Because they came in the New 52 and it was just Barry all the way. Alex Combs says, I really liked Grayson. I have the Grayson omnibus. I do. Tim McCabe says, waiting for Sasha's Lantern Spectrum wig cosplay. I think I need some more wigs for that. That sounds like a custom wig. That sounds like something I'd have to make myself. Not that I make the ones I have, but that sounds like something that I would have to make myself because commissioning that would probably cost a decent amount. More than I'd want to spend on a wig that I'm not sure how often I'd get the chance to wear. ZK, thank you very much. It is appreciated. Brad is saying, I like silver and early Bronze Age. I need to do some more silver and Bronze Age. I'm thinking of highlighting a story that I very much enjoy, just for fun. It's one of the Red Kryptonite stories featuring Superman having to encounter young Superman. And he's so atrociously mean to Superboy that it's really funny. I think I've mentioned that story before, but I've never done a full video on it. And I think it would be a really good time. It's just very entertaining. Rashad B, thank you very much. Are your wigs in a box or do you have a menagerie of mannequin heads? I, alas, do not have a menagerie of mannequin heads. They are kept inside of their boxes and their frameworks for the most part. There are a few that are more out and about, but I don't have a whole bunch of heads showing them off. And to be honest, I think that might creep me out a little bit. I don't know. I'm often up working very late, and I feel like at midnight or 1 or so to suddenly turn around out of the corner of your eye and see all of these heads, feel like it might freak me out. It might be a bit much, so I kinda like how they're stored. Also, my kids play with them, so this way it keeps them out of the way. They already get taken on more anyway. I think if they were on little mannequin heads, that would happen even more. Adrian Parchman, thank you very much. Do you cosplay? If not, who would be your first? I do not, and it would be Velma because that's easy, and I've been her for Halloween before, so I have all this stuff, and I have the wig already. And I just like the Velma look. I think it's a good look. I would walk around like that all the time. It's a good look. I guess people are probably hoping for someone more costumey, but that's always my go-to answer. All about the Velma. Lois, but no one would know I was cosplaying because it would just be her regular outfits. Which version of Velma? Classic Velma. We're going 60s Velma. I need a turtleneck and I need a turtleneck, a skirt, the high knee socks. I need the matching monochrome look. We're going for that. No clips in the hair, just flat bob. That's what we're doing. Will you be Velma for your Scooby-Doo videos in the future? Ooh, I have so many bob wigs like that. I could be alternate Velmas, various Velmas from across the multiverse because the Scooby-Doo comics love to do that. They love a multiverse. Henry says you gotta run like her too. I gotta run like her with the arms up, and I gotta lose my glasses. The only thing is I can see without my glasses, so it wouldn't be as dramatic. Oh. Some of those old costumes are looks. There's a person I follow on Shorts who dresses up specifically in different cartoon costumes, and sometimes just seeing them out in the open is an experience. Like seeing Kim Possible's sweater crop top with the cargo pants in real life is interesting. I've seen a lot of Winx outfits lately too. Not that I could do that. There's too much involved for a Winx cosplay. It's a lot of a lot. There's a lot that goes into cosplay. I really enjoy looking at the various cosplay channels and the builds, and some of those videos are just very are you oh Alvin. Hi. What was really scary with that was he kind of low-key opened it. I thought I'd closed the door better than that. But here he is. Some of you last stream were saying that you missed him. So if you missed Alvin, here he is. Oh my goodness. Hi. Oh. Will you be here for some of my cosplays, Alvin? Oh my gosh, no. He's tearing my clothes, just everything. There have been a few videos. I don't include them because he never comes on camera for this, but where he just meows, he's just meowing. And every time I say something, he meows. Oh, I know. Weren't you having fun? Why weren't you having fun downstairs? You missed all the news. You missed all the news. We're just rambling at this point. Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. He's been so sheddy lately, just all over everything. He's also been prowling. That was his ears hitting the table. He's also been prowling the back. So he's knocking a whole bunch of stuff over. So sometimes I get asked questions about why is Zim over or what is happening with your figures? And it's Alvin. The answer is Alvin. This is his favorite room. This is his favorite room to be in. And of course, when I'm not streaming, he's quiet and he sits. And sometimes he sleeps next to my wigs. So there was one wig that Alvin destroyed. It was very sad. I don't know. He got really attached to it and he would net it. I came in one day and he was just netting it. all over, and it was so tangled. I was never able to untangle it after that. Ow, your nail needs trimming. You scratched me. I need to trim your nails. You don't like that. You run and you hide. I know, but you scratch everything. Twincast is saying petition for Dexter cosplay for Alvin. Alvin does not like wearing anything. If you put anything on Alvin except for his collar, which he loves because he's always had it since we got him, then he doesn't like it. We tried taking his collar off and he hated it. So Common Sense, thank you very much. I believe Eternity, formerly known as Kid Eternity, should have a Black Label miniseries. DC kept his New 52 continuity. He last appeared in Batman UL. I think it'd be cool to do a Kid Eternity Black Label miniseries. I do. I think there are lots of characters who could benefit from getting the Black Label treatment. Just because, not because you need to make it mature, gritty gore, but just because it's a space to explore some different ideas that may potentially mess with canon, but you can do that in the Black Label environment. Oh my goodness. Ow. No, I know. I read Urban Legends. My mind flashed to Universe, because Batman Universe was also a different thing. I'm just distracted because his claws are intense. They're very intense. Uh-oh. There. Oh, Alvin bumped the mic. He hit it with his body. So I know. You're being a bit of a menace. I love you so, but you're being a menace. You knock the mic. You know, they can already hear you. Yeah, they can. You're quite loud. Ow. I fed you before, too. Which X book is Alvin hyped for? Alvin, are you hype for Uncanny X-Men as well? Or are you just here for X Factor? Are you going to be reading Storm? Oh my goodness. He wants my attention so badly. Hi. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So what comics are you excited for this week with all of the releases? Because we have the X-Men, we have I am kind of excited for the Absolute Power tie-ins, just a little bit, a smidge. What about all of you? What are you looking forward to? Are any of you on the Suicide Squad Isekai train with me? Are you watching as well, or are you not? Is that just not your cup of tea? Count Juan, I am giving him attention. He gets so much attention. I see excitement for X-Men. Hi. Johnny California says cats are evil. No, they are not. Cats are wonderful. Let's see. X-Men, X-Force, and Sentinels. I keep forgetting the Sentinels one is happening. There's just so many. Ow, that one hurt. That one hurt. Let me see. That's right. Cats are amazing. Alvin just needs a lot of attention. He's a very loving, social kitty who could hear me talking and wanted to come and see what all of the action was about. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So if we were to go back to the Silver and Bronze Age, I think I want to venture away from obscure Batman villains, as fun as that is. Who's another Silver Age person who you think has a really fun rogues gallery that would be fun to dive into? I was thinking about Aquaman, because when we did that last Batman Brave and the Bold episode and all those, the fishermen and some of the wild adventures that the fishermen went on and the like, it could be fun to look at Aquaman. Also, Aquaman just doesn't get as much attention sometimes as other Justice League characters do. Oh, Flash. Flash could be fun because we could do the trickster. I've had Trickster on the brain for a while. I have everything all ready to do a video on OG prank. Are you coughing? Why are you coughing? Oh my goodness. Ooh, what if we do Wonder Woman? Are we gonna do some of the some of the attempts that Kanigher did at giving her villains after he erased all of the Golden Age ones? Plastic Man could be fun. It feels like Plastic Man's going to get some more hype. It might be time to also look at Guy Gardner. All of those set photos are leaking from the Gunverse, and people had thoughts and feelings about how Green Lantern looked. I actually really liked how they did the bowl cut. It looked awkward like it does in the comic, and I was into that. We can't do that, all those villains. We need to be monetized. We need to not garner scrutiny of, oh my, it's red. It's red where he got me. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Seth is saying, guys, wig is no bueno. We'll see how it looks when it's done. Maybe they'll do more stuff in post. There's still time. Oh, Mr. Terrific. I love how they're doing Mr. Terrific, and just I never thought I'd see that coat on screen. So I'm really happy about I really like Mr. Terrific, and Mr. Terrific, because of they're doing more synergy things. Did you see how much Mr. Terrific was up in absolute power? It's so cool to see Mr. Terrific out and about again. I really like him. Also, his friendship with Batman's cute. Let's see. CGI hair. There are things they can do. Are you excited for the gun Superman? They're definitely building a lot of hype for it. You see stuff about it all the time. It seems to be building up some excitement. Is it something that you're looking forward to? I'll always be there for Superman, so regardless or not. Matthew Prower was an OG Prank brunette. Prank 2 was blonde. OG Prank was Megan Lockhart, who was kidnapped and forced to be Prank. So I'm like, well, I guess she's the first Prank, but not by choice. Second Prank is the Prank who wanted to be Prank, Zoe Clark. The one who is in love with the trickster and sends him all that fan mail and frees him and all that stuff. Tyler Preston says, I'm cautious of the Gunverse. I think cautious is a sentiment I definitely understand. I'm interested. I'm curious if their big synergy strategy is going to pay off. I'm intrigued to see where it goes and what ends up coming to the fore and what doesn't. There's that Booster Gold series. Let's see how they do my boy Booster if it ends up happening. It's nice to see certain characters and the like being foreground. And it's not one thing that is nice is I love this about X-Men 97 too. I love seeing people recommend comics that they like to fans, like from production staffs like that. Even if they're not comics I like, I just think it's great to have someone go and be like, ooh, I thought this run was cool. Go read this. I'm going to be pulling from that. Even if it's not a run that I personally like, I think it's always great to see people then go check it out. And maybe they'll really like it and really get into this awesome medium that has so many cool stories to check out from so many different eras. I really like that. The thing about a lot of comics is that people aren't aware that they're out there. That happens a lot. Like even with the Ghost Machine stuff I talk about, a lot of the comments I get are, I don't even know what this is. That's part of why I talk about it. I like highlighting it, and I like talking to creators like of Ram God and the like, which came out this past week, so you can get that as well. There's just so many cool comics out there. I very nearly did a video on Rook Exodus, the third one. I had to stop myself. I'm like, you already talked about Red Coat. You gotta give the algorithm a bit of time to recover. But Rook Exodus 3 was very cool. It had some very cool art and some very cool other wardens. It maintained the rule that if you control spiders, you have to be on. One day I want to see just the chill person controlling spiders. B&B, I love talking about indies as well. It's really fun. It's really fun to show some of the other stuff that's out there. And that's part of why I flirt so much with the idea of the what I'm reading vids, just because there are a lot of indies in that mix. Let's see. John Stewart's asking, is anyone excited for the finale of the Crisis animated movies? Who's watching those? Who's keeping up with the animated verse? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff happening over there as well. Let's see. The door says, I was unreasonably upset at Rook Exodus 3 for having 2 different goat wardens. Now, they said one was around. I saw that too. I was like, there were so many creatures in the world. Hey, you're going to make it inappropriate, Alvin. You have to stop doing that. You can't tug at my top. What do you want from me? You have food, you have water, you have love, you have attention. People talking about how cool you are. What more could you need? See, now I've hit the mic. Is that what you needed? Was that your goal all along? Alvin has strong thoughts and feelings tonight. He's missed the streaming because it's been a while since we've streamed. We fell off the streak of streaming. But next time I stream will be this coming weekend. It'll be over on Amanda's channel. We're going to be taking a look at the Deadpool Samurai, which is going to be a good time. I'm very much looking forward to that. It's always fun to chat about the various things that we're reading and discuss them together. So we'll probably also end up talking about X-Men stuff because there's so much of it. There's so much out there. Seth says Alvin is trying to summon Simon and Theo. Well, we have a Theo, but Theo normally stays out when I'm streaming. Theo's camera shy. What normally happens is as soon as I finish, Theo comes in to hang out, but he tends not to want to be on camera. We do not have a Simon, just our 2 kitties. Marilyn Duke is talking about James Gunn, how he wants to tie in the comics, cartoons, games. It's a big ask. We'll see how it goes. Uptown Duck is saying absolute DC creators just got confirmed. Oh, are you going to make me go look for things? I'll go look for that. I've got time. If Alvin doesn't maul me in the meantime, please sit. Sit so we can look. Let's look. Ugh. If my computer wants me to. It's like, no. We had a deal. There we go. Let's see what they say. Oof. We still have leaks and stuff. Oh, is it Bleeding Cool again? Do I have to go back to Bleeding Cool? I don't want to. Okay. Let's see. I need to skim through. Let's see. How this is organized so oddly. Oh, it's just a list of them, not what they're doing? Okay. We just have names. I guess I'll pull them up. Why not? I'll pull it up. Yeah, there's lots of names. Uptown Duck is saying, I mean, it's Bleeding Cool, but the man said confirm. I mean, how could it not be? It says confirm. Let's go to the rumored confirmations. Why not? Let's look at them. Do. All right. Confirm. Revealed. Sorry, revealed. Lineup revealed. Scott Snyder and Jason Aaron head the roster with definitive Batman and Superman tales. Filmmaker and TED speaker Che Grayson joins the creative force alongside industry veterans. Preview that same cover that we looked at. Here we go. I can confirm that the Absolute Universe line will launch from DC Comics in October 2024, and the lead writers and artists will be drumroll: Jason Aaron, Denise Camp, Wes Craig, Nick Dragotta, Al Ewing, Che Grayson, Jeff Lemire, Janoy Lindsay, Pornsack Pinchote every time, Nick Robles, Rafa Sandoval, Hayden Sherman, Scott Snyder, and Kelly Thompson. That's what they say. That's right, Ben Chan. Scoop. Oh. So then they just say who these people are, and they just give a list of things that they have worked on. Jeff Lemire is always writing so many things. Does Jeff have time? We shall see. So if these are confirmed, then we'd be excited. Do you like these names? Does this excite you? Does this make you feel more hype for the totally confirmed roster of creators? I'm looking forward to October solicits, though, I have to say. What a fun spoilerific fest that is going to be. We shall see. Take all of it with the grain. Take more than a grain. Take a handful of salt. Just a spoon. A spoonful of salt helps the rumors go down. But that's what they say. We'll be intrigued. I'm, of course, just waiting to see what... We're not going to have to wait long. We just had the September solicits a little while ago. We're about to have San Diego Comic-Con. They're going to release this stuff soon, and we'll read it, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. I've really come to enjoy our solicit readings, even though I struggle sometimes. I struggle more with the names reading them live than I do normally. I think it's because I'm hyper conscious of the fact that I'm reading them aloud live, and that makes me trip up over them more than usual. Ooh. Yes, please do. You'll need to let me know what's real, what really happened. I need to know. Inquiring minds will need to know. I won't be going. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. I feel like I'm finally getting to a point where I feel comfortable to go and leave my it's not, the thing is, I could go. It's a me thing. It's entirely a me thing. I'm not ready to go away for any long period of time away from my kids. But it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited about all of these announcements. I've been having a really good time with comics lately, all of them, particularly DC, because that tends to be where I'm the most focused. But DC, Marvel, the indies, probably Marvel at the bottom. Like if we're going to rank them, DC, indie, Marvel for me personally. But I don't know. I've just been having a really great time. Are you having a good time? It's Uptown Doug who's saying, I'll talk to Snyder and give him the business. Show up wearing the hat you're wearing in your DP and just be like, hey, I need the inside scoop. See, you gotta talk like a 1940s gangster while you do it. So, Kev's Collectibles is asking, are you excited for Batman Cape Crusader on Prime? Yes, but also slightly stressed for if I'm going to be able to cover it or not. Because I'm trapped in this headspace of I would like to cover it episode by episode, but I feel like more people would want it in a chunk. And then there's then you have this whole internal debate of, well, it's your channel, you should cover it how you want. But then it's like, but also the way that makes the most sense. So we shall see. I may end up in that position where I just don't end up covering it, but end up watching it, which happens with a lot of things. We shall see. Alvin, are you relaxing, Alvin? Are you leaving after all of that? Wow. That's all you wanted? Yeah, come back up. You don't get, after all of that, you have to stay to the very end. Oh, F. Vanth is asking, where did you find the Batman versus Werewolf stuff? It's on the big sites like Polygon, Games Radar, that kind of stuff. James Bunt is saying, give it the X-Men 97 treatment. episode by episode. I like doing it that way. I think it's fun. The thing is that when you do have things that release in the chunk, you do have people who have the time to binge it all in one go. And so then if there are plots that take a while to develop or secret reveals, sometimes if you're discussing them in a whole like, ooh, maybe it could go that way or maybe it could go this way, sometimes you can run into a bit of a, oh, well, we already know what happens. How dare you not know what happens? You're like, I was watching one at a time. I like it. I can't stop hitting the mic. I'm so sorry. It's Alvin. He's right here. Ah! As you can see, grabbing and all of those things. I can't stop hitting it. Oh my goodness. It's a hot mess. It's madness here, as always, this late into the evening. I like it weekly too, JB888. It's because I like it because it gives you that kind of break, and it also gives you something to look forward to. I really like that. It's one of the things when you start YouTube that they tell you when you are talking to people who've either been doing it for a while or it's the reps or whoever, is that's one of the things that's really successful. And you do see it. It's if you set a schedule of people knowing what you're going to do. It's just, it can be difficult to do that. If there's hair under my nose now, because he put his tail under my nose. Oh my goodness. Kev's Collectibles asking, are you happy they used Onomatopoeia and Golden Age Clayface? I'm excited to see them utilize Onomatopoeia. I think Onomatopoeia has a decent amount of potential to be creepy. And I think given the context that they're going for with the more Golden Age style tone of things, I think you could have a lot of fun with that. Oh, Adrian Partsman is asking, ever thought about looking into some Batman 66 episodes? All the time. And doing the fun comparisons between those and the comics. I love doing those. Those are very fun. And some of those have direct comparisons. Mystery Zero would be a really good time to do with that. Tyler Preston is saying about Onomatopoeia, but isn't he a Green Arrow villain? He started off there, but he had a big showing in the Kevin Smith comics with the Widening Gyre and Cacophony, but Widening Gyre particularly. So I think some might associate him with Batman a bit more than Green Arrow, depending upon what they've read, because he has that very famous or infamous moment at the end of Widening Gyre that they never continued because it's not done, where he slits Silver St. Cloud's throat. So I think that's what a lot of people think about when they think about Onomatopoeia. He showed it back up in Future State, and that was in some of the Bat stuff. And then he showed up in Lazarus Planet, the Dark Fate one, Huntress, who's part of the Bat family. He was walking through Arkham and she saw him. So he's been more tied to Bat stuff as of late. So we shall see. We shall see where it goes. I am interested. I'm curious. I do like when things try to do their own takes. It's an interesting mix of people behind it and an interesting blend of styles that they're trying to bring together. So I am curious to see how it works out. Prime in general has been pretty solid with its comic book adaptation or like comic book fare. So I'm curious as to how it goes. I really wish they would finish Widening Gyre. I'm probably the only one, but I just the completionist in me wants to see it end. I want to see it finish, but Kevin Smith has a couple of comics that just are not complete and probably never will be. So I'll just need to live with that. The tea is falling off the bottom of this. It's condensed into a nice light dew. This one's tea. So this is a peach tea, because by this point in the evening, even though there's still coffee left, and I've already drunk some of it, there's still it's probably a terrible idea to drink any more of it. Oh, Matt Dotsko saying I'm not alone. Other people want the Widening Gyre finished. That's good to know. It's always nice to hear that somebody else wants the same thing finished. John Stewart, did you enjoy the recent appearance of the League of Jimmies recently? I did. That was in Superman Batman World's Finest. That was very fun. We got a call back to many Jimmies. And I think all the ones that we covered on Jimmy Olsen transforms into stuff were there. And then there were a couple of the superhero ones as well, because I didn't put the superhero changes in there because Jimmy Olsen becomes a superhero or gets superpowers is different than transforms into things, even though I guess Elastic Lad is straddling the line of being both. And I put him in transforms into things, but it's not the same quite as when he gets actual Superman type powers. You could also do one of those for Lois Lane gets powers, because that's a thing that happens a lot. So I want to do more of those, the big collections of things. That's still one of my favorite videos ever that I've worked on. Jimmy Olsen turns into stuff. I love Jimmy, and I loved researching that, and I really should do it for superpowers. That would be so much fun. James Bond is asking, can we get an episode on incomplete comics? Those comics that were never finished? That could be a lot of fun. Trey Dodson, thank you very much. Could you investigate how Riddler got dusted off after 17 years and 65? It's an enigma. I like that pun. I appreciate it. A lot of that has to do with the TV series. There was a lot of synergy and stuff that was going on behind the scenes leading up to that before the series even aired. The production of that and the way they planned it and the way they planned for some things to come out at the same time or tried to create some characters for it that didn't end up coming on, like Poison Ivy and the like. It's interesting. It's a really interesting time period for Batman. So it would be also just talking about the Riddler in that era could be a lot of fun. That's a really good time for the Riddler. The Riddler can have some really great stories, but also you need someone writing them who's capable of writing interesting puzzles or riddles. They are oftentimes not riddles. That can be the problem with the Riddler a lot. But it's difficult. You need someone really, really clever, I think, to write a really proper, clever Riddler story. I remember when they talked about TAS, they said that's why they didn't use the Riddler all that much, because it was difficult to come up with credible stories for him. And I can see that being a consistent problem if you really want to stick to his whole riddling aspect. B&B saying the master form about unfinished stories. I know. They never did determine what the master form was. Gosh, this is an interesting comic to read. What are some of comics that are unfinished that you wish had been finished or that haunt you, that you just want to know where, not even necessarily how it ended, but just where they were going, like what they were trying to do? I think the thing is, after so much time has elapsed, it's going to be different than what it was originally going to be anyway. Yuri Volt says, can't come up with a good enough Riddler plan? Use the Clue Master instead. It's true. Discount Riddler. It's really fun when they play with that aspect inside the comics themselves. People are saying the comics that they wish were finished. Image United, Isola. Matt Krenza says so many from Image. Oh, Adrian Parchman, I have seen the Battle of the Superheroes, Batman Brave and the Bold episode that has lots of these Silver Age references. That is a very fun one. It has so many like Jimmy references, a Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane marriage reference, that great comic where he splits into two people and then tries to take over the earth and has the big silly crown. So many things. Oh, James Bond fell. Yeah, I think about fell sometimes. I do think about that one. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of different things and avenues to cover and go down. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. Like I said, I know I'm not normally excited, but I'm really excited. I don't know what happened. Normally I'm not, but just the entire atmosphere and vibe has me in a really happy, excited headspace for all of the things coming out. I have a lot of things I'm really looking forward to. What about all of you? I hope you have something that you're really looking forward to, or like reading, watching, whatever it is. I think I should probably head off and do some editing, though, if I can get any editing in. We looked at the things, we looked at the rumors. Some rumors emerged live. Thank you very much to Uptown Duck for pointing that out. But we will, of course, return with more videos, more things. We'll be going live a bit more often as we go into the September months and the like. So thank you so much for coming, hanging out, rambling with the whims. It was, as always, a really good time. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time, and enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, whatever, whatever it is for you. And of course, I will see you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.